All right, we're going to go over some highlights of this Cat 45 race Crossfire. My right foot, I couldn't clip in here, and then also my left foot unclips, and I'm like, oh no. So this start was not very good, and that leaves me here into some traffic right at the start line. So you can see here everyone wants this inside line, and I did too, but because of traffic, it slowed me down. And so I want to get ahead of as much as I can here. I take this inside and put a good dig and get ahead of some other guys. But the problem with this is that when you're in traffic this early on this specific course, the first pinch point hits it pretty soon. So up here we're going to see the first pinch point where everything becomes single file. And that means if you don't have a great start, you're going to already kind of be a couple seconds back off the front of this race, and you're going to have to put in a whole bunch of effort to get back up there. So you can see here the front there, 2, 4, 6, 8. I am ninth wheel into this start. And that means I'm going to have to put a whole bunch of effort into catching back up, and we'll see why that's an issue later in the race when I start to fade. So there are people riding this, but I found that if it was actually a lot faster to just run it, and you're going to see some other kind of top-level pro techniques later from other guys, not me myself, though, and why running it is faster. So here you can see this is pretty steep, so you got to expect it to be able to get ready to jump off your bike. And so when traffic happens in certain sections like that early, you just got to be really aware of what's going on. And, of course, I unfortunately remounted on a very sensitive area there and was not having a great start. Now, this section was a bit of gravel, was super loose, so if you went to the right here and took it wide, you could try to take it a little bit straighter and then eventually hit this grass, and I used that traction to sort of bolt myself up this hill. So this corner was pretty flowy. If you took this wide and came inside and hit this post and then took it wide again, that was the fastest line I could think of through that, and I kind of felt like I was kind of nailing that specific section. But I still have a whole bunch of work here. You can see there got a couple seconds on me. Now this section specifically, if you get off here, because you're slowing down for a turn anyways, you can just run up this right away and remount on the flat grass. When people were running down, they would have to accelerate out of that corner and then decelerate, and then essentially right here, they'd be remounting up the hill. So in pre-ride, I saw that. It was very evident to me that that was going to be the fastest line. It's just you're already slowing down for that corner. Just jump off there and then run up that right away so that you can remount on the flat. And you'll see later why that's a good decision on my end. But you can see here I'm in no man's land yet again. So I have to do this effort to catch back up to this group. And unfortunately, by the time I even catch this group, they start to disband and they just kind of separate. So yes, I eventually catch them like I do here. And there's 5 guys here. But what happens is this group ends up breaking up a little bit earlier than I wanted. And so again, I'm kind of stuck in this no man's land. Now here, you can see that section specifically had a pretty hard bump there. Got to be a little careful. And this gravel was causing me quite a bit of difficulty here. So I was kind of, I did take the same approach to that, as trying to get to the grass as soon as possible. I don't know if it necessarily was the fastest, but it was just the approach I was taking. And here you can see again taking it wide and taking that flowy route. But once I catch up to this group, they're already all over the place, so I need to pass this guy and then get back up to this group of 4 or group of 3 up there. So same deal here. When I catch up, I decide I need to catch up to the guys ahead of me again. So I put in a dig here. It was fast enough that I couldn't drag anyone up with me, and then try to pull these 2 guys back, and eventually I catch them. So like we were saying earlier, I think it is fast. It was definitely faster to run this section. So you can see here on the guy on the left, he's going to try to ride it. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to pass him, or at least stay with him. But you can see on the left here, we're going to see the pro move I was talking about. Look at that. He runs ahead of me, get to the corner first, kind of sort of blocks me with his bike, and gets on his bike ahead of me. Absolutely pro move. I was entirely surprised by that, and I think that was such a legit move that I really kind of want to. It's hard to figure out when you can use that in a race, but just the fact that it even happened was I was so happy that it happened to me. I was like, man, I just learned something today. If you're going to run and get to a corner first and be able to sort of use your bike and to sort of block, but also just to get on before in front of me, That is an absolute legit and really smart move. So here you can see I'm getting caught there, as you can tell, and I'm getting caught here again. And that's because of that early effort, that really early hard effort. Uh, I just found myself fading near the end of this race, and so those two guys just passed me, and I'm really just fading. And so here you can see I get off early again. We're last lap here, and the guy behind me the guy who did that block on that corner, he tries to take that line that I was telling you about that I didn't prefer, where you had to remount up the hill. And so yes, I was, I was kind of felt like I was validated here by taking, getting ahead of him. But like I was saying, I was fading, so he passes me here, which is a great pass because I get caught with this, lapped rider there, which isn't really an excuse because he had enough of a gap on me here that, oh, there we go. We almost had a Tour de France replay. But yeah, he had enough of a gap on me that I wasn't going to contend this sprint here. So that was the 4-5 race. I also did the 3-4, and I probably will have some highlights soon.